Now, I want to show you as I open up the foil, look at that. Her hair is already lifted to that golden color.
Louder, screaming louder, my superpower. Gonna take you higher.
I'm here with my client, Unique.
Hello.
We've been together for over 8 years, can you believe that? And I haven't lightened your hair in over 2 years. And hence, look at the situation. She has grown out quite a bit and she is about 90% virgin. So all this is virgin, just the ends is lightened, and that's over 2 years ago. She has grown this much. Your hair looks good still.
It always does when you do it.
Yeah, right? And what are we doing today, Yudi?
We are lightening and giving me a warm tone.
Warm, and you've never done warm before.
No.
You're not scared at all?
No.
You trust me?
I trust you a lot.
You gotta grow, you gotta evolve. Change is good. Wanna get started?
Yeah.
Let's go, come on. All right, so let's take a close look at Unique's hair. So right up here in the front, you can see that there is some gray hair, and we have to think about that when we're coloring and highlighting the hair. She has some grown out, lightened ends. How do we incorporate this? What technique are we gonna use? Am I gonna foil? Am I gonna balayage? Am I gonna air touch? One thing I don't wanna do to her hair, because she has natural texture and curls in her hair, I do not want to do a back combing technique because it will get caught. So I want the hair to lay in its natural state. And Unique does style her hair straight and curly. She mainly wears it with her natural curls, but every now and then she does wear it straight. So I have to think about that as well. So I do wanna trim her ends because it's been a long time since we've trimmed her. So I want to choose to blow dry her hair because I know she wears it straight as well as her natural texture. Plus I want to use the air touch technique. So the air touch technique, it allows me to get close up to her scalp and also not disturb her natural curls and texture. So you can see here, her hair is about level 2. So knowing that when we lift her hair, she's going to expose natural underlying pigment. When we lighten dark hair, you'll see red, copper, gold. So I am going to use Lift Me Up to highlight her hair. So here's the Lift Me Up swatch here. Since we're going to lift Unique's hair with Twilight Dream7, which is a gold brown base color, gold will couple in with the underlying pigment of her hair and expose red tone. So she's naturally going to have red cinnamon tone through her dark hair when we lighten it with the Twilight Dream7. But the gold is going to enhance it. So it's going to look like a cinnamon brown. So always remember that when you look at the swatch is shown with its purest form of color. But you always have to consider the starting level and the underlying pigment at that starting level. Knowing that going in with Twilight Dream7, she's gonna get a cinnamon warm brown color. And also it depends if you're using 10 volume, 20 volume, or 30 volume. When you're using higher volume developer, you're gonna expose more warmth and it's gonna look a little bit more raw, but lower developer actually gives more richness. So Lift Me Up Bright Blonde with gold tones is gonna make more sense than ash. We want to brighten her and enhance her. Everyone does hair differently. I know that everyone has their take on how to style and color and cut curly hair. This is my method of doing this technique with air touch because I'm able to blow dry the hair and give her the highlight close to her head to supplement her lifestyle of wearing it straight or natural with curls. So the first thing I'm going to do to prep Unique's hair is use the Guy Tang My Hero Cleanser. So this is going to bring clarity to her hair by removing all the debris. So prepping the hair is very important before coloring, especially if you're going to smooth out the hair so that way you could do a certain technique on it. Some people might feel like, oh, this takes a lot of work, a lot of time, but at the end it's gonna be worth it because you're gonna take care of the hair, make sure the hair is healthy. And there's a reason why Unique has been with me since 2014. You trust me, right?
Yes.
Trusting is very important. Always have the consultation. Always let your clients know the steps and how long it will take. I like to do these additional steps to ensure that the hair has the perfect canvas for coloring, and that way I get to keep the integrity of her hair. What I love about the shampoo of My Hero Cleanser is that the hair feels very, very slick. It removes all the debris and anything that can cloud the hair. So when you're coloring the hair, you have a clear canvas to work with. So what's really important is that as you're washing the hair with Unique having natural texture, you don't want to over scrub and causing the curls to kind of intercollide with each other. I keep the hair really smooth so that way it's easier to blow out the hair. Okay, so the second step is I'm using My Hero X2 Collagen Repair Spray. So this is a cuticle sealer and a hair softener. So it softens the hair, repairs the hair, protects it, and aligns the cuticles, so that way the porosity of the hair is equalized. So during the coloring process, the color would take more evenly, which is very, very important. And you can feel the hair instantly feels softer on contact. So X3 is the internal collagen reconstructor. This is the third step in the treatment, so it repairs the hair from the inside. So you can layer X3 right over the top of X2, which saves a lot of time. So it's been about 3 minutes and we're gonna rinse the X3 and 2 out of her hair now. As I lift her hair up, you can definitely see that the virgin hair has stronger curl pattern than her ends here, where the lightened area is a little bit more loose. That's very normal because of porosity. So that's why we're trying to even this out as much as possible. Unique doesn't want a strong change of a haircut. So we're gonna do X4. This is the external reconstructor. This repairs the hair from the outside layer cuticle. And what's really important about this step is does has a pH of 3.5. So this X4 step is acidic, so it really tightened and closed that cuticle so the hair feels very, very slippery. So you'll feel that right away when you rinse the product out. You're gonna let this sit on for 3 to 5 minutes. The longer the better, of course. What's your favorite part about going to a salon, Unique?
Probably the washing and the end results. I like the end result.
Okay, so why do you trust me with your hair? That's what I want to know.
Well, initially, I actually saw a video from a friend who posted on Facebook. That's how I found you.
Oh, you found me from Facebook?
From a friend who posted a video, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Sure,
and I had never dyed my hair, but I was like, if I was ever gonna do it, I would want you to do it, because I had a box of dye sitting in my home for like 2 years, but I was terrified.
So you lost your hair color rigidity to me.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. And then after we met, it was like, oh, okay, this was real easy with you and I.
Right? There's a comfort. We bonded right away. We connected right away. I don't know why when I'm around you, your energy, it makes me happy.
That's good. It's like your energy does the same for me.
Well, you know what it is? It's all about energy. And I'm learning this year, if anything, is to surround myself with good energy. And even when I'm feeling a little down, I try my best to take a step back and breathe as much as possible. None of us are perfect. I'm not perfect, but I try my best because I definitely feel like good energy is very important to have.
Yes, it is.
All right, so now her hair is easy to smooth out. You ready? All right, let's go. So we are back with Unique. As you can see, I smoothed out her hair, but I didn't make it like super smooth. That's not what I'm going for. We're not trying to style it. I need her hair smooth enough so I could give her a trim and do the Airtouch technique. So you can see the length of her hair is very, very long. And look at the end. So she hasn't had a trim in a long time. So I want to cut a straight line. Less is more. Oftentimes we're like, how are we gonna do this situation, right? Don't make it difficult. So I'm gonna have her bend her head down. Bending the head down ensures that you get this stretch along the nape so you get a stronger straight line. Look at the corners. You can see both left and right side is longer than the center. So I wanna go about right here and cut. So we're gonna cut about there. So this is about 1.5 inches. So we're just cutting a straight line straight across. So that way she can have a stronger shape. So whether she wears it straight or curled in her natural texture, it will have a strong shape to it. That's it. Less is more. Sometimes we try to elevate and do all these things, but take a look. She is gonna be not happy if I start cutting into this, because remember, it's gonna shrink up and curl really, really tight. So you wanna keep this weight line as much as possible so she has more strength as it curls up, so it has more of a strong structure to the hair. So what you wanna do also is bring the hair to the front. So what I do is comb the hair to the front. I'm gonna have her turn her head just like this, but keep her shoulder position straight. This helps you see if the line is straight. So you bring that straight across, and this is how you get that even straight line from the back all the way to the front. And you don't need to overlayer, because again, if I overlayer this, it's gonna be too tight up in the front because she has a tight curl pattern and she doesn't want it too short, right, Unique?
Yeah.
So I'm being very strategic. Less is more, am I right?
Yes, just a little nip and tuck.
A little nip and tuck. And now we're gonna go and proceed with coloring. Are you ready? So now we're gonna highlight your hair. So we're gonna use Lift Me Up. So you have a choice of the rose blonde, which you can see here on the swatch. You have your choice of the pearl blonde, which you can see here at the bottom of the swatch page. And you also have your choice of the bright blonde, which is gold, which is in the center here. This is the one I actually gravitate towards the most. I love warmth. And why do we need warmth when we're lightening hair? Because sometimes when we lighten hair with just lightener or bleach alone, it can overlift and the hair turns too blonde and you have no tone. What I like about Lift Me Up Bright Blonde is that you get to lift the hair and it deposits such bright, rich warmth that doesn't look raw. It actually looks reflective. So we are gonna use the Bright Blonde only today. How do you feel about that, Unique?
Good, it's pretty. It's got a goldish.
Are you scared?
No.
No, okay, because I wanna make sure, because you being confident in the color is very important to me. This is the warmest you've ever gotten in your life.
Yes.
So what I do is I have this chart on my phone, or you can print it out and stick it to your wall. I like to stick it to the wall in your back bar where you're mixing your color. You have a choice of the original standard lift, which is the one I'm gonna use on Unique because it's more gentle. It gives you 6+ levels of lift, but you get maximum deposit, but you don't need to overlift her hair. Unique's hair, what I've discovered in the past, lift really, really easily. And you can see here in the swatch, it shows you what the color looks like at a level 5. It does look like a warm golden brown, but because her hair is very sensitive with 20 volume, it will lift lighter. So she's gonna lift to like a level 7. Now that looks very, very goldy and very, very warm. And I know it can look very, very frightening when you look at it by itself. We're highlighting it into her hair. We're not doing her whole head. Now, if she wants to do her whole head, that's fine, but we're highlighting. So then the second choice in the center of the chart, I'm gonna put the chart right here so you get to see your 3 mixing ratio option. You have the extra lift soft tone, meaning you get the additional lift because you use the double amount of Magnum 8 powder lightener, so you get more lift, but the toner you use less of, so you get less toner, so the color appear more brighter because you get more lift and you get more of a sheer tone. The third option is extra lift max tone, so you still use your double amount of Magnum 8. This time, use the full amount of toner and oil mixing ratio, so you get your maximum toning quality, but you get that maximum lift because you use more Magnum 8 in it. But we don't want that with Unique. We're gonna go with more of the gentle lift. So that being said, I'm gonna start mixing the product now. So this is the lightener. We're gonna do 10 grams. All right, so then you're gonna do equal parts Bright and the oil lift booster. So this is 14 grams of the Bright and 14 grams of the oil. Again, measure. We're gonna do 40 grams of 20 volume. So you can see here the developer and the toner and oil with the lightener. We're gonna mix it on up with a whisk here. What you're gonna love about Lift Me Up is the consistency. It helps you highlight and spread the product through the hair so much more easily because it penetrates. So you don't work as hard, you work smarter and you get to have fun with the color placement. Are you ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay, let's go, come on. So what's really important is sectioning the hair so you know what you're coloring. You can see here a lot of the gray hair starts here at this point. What I want to do is camouflage the gray with the highlights to blend it all in. So I'm gonna take this point that you see right here at her part line, right where the gray kind of ends at that corner, and then go right back behind her ear. So this whole section will become her money piece. So I'm gonna take this beautiful rainbow clip and clip that out the way. Here you see a lot of the gray hair where it starts here. So you don't want the chunking of the highlight to go too far back. You want it to be right where this gray hair starts, and it go right through here. And this is where you really wanna get that money piece in. So you definitely want to clip this part too, because this is very, very crucial. This kind of goes right in with it. And everyone's parting is very different. Some people have more of a straight line. Some people have more of a widow's peak. When someone has more of a widow's peak, I like to do a V shape, and I do 2 sections here, 1 and 2. If it's straight, I'll do a horizontal foil pattern here. So she has a little bit of that widow's peak situation. And I repeat the same thing on this side. Even though a lot of her parting covers this side, it's very important because if she decides to wear her hair back or up or toss it around, it's even on both sides. Or if she decided to change up her part for whatever reason, it's really important to balance both sides. So it's really important to go from this section where you see the gray and slope back so you get enough hair to fall into the front of the face to frame it. So you can see this is how far you have to go back on Unique. Everyone's hair is different. Some people only need 3 foils, some people need 4, some people need 5. But you can clearly see here we have to go further back with Unique because of the way her hair falls. Everyone's different. So that's why I never followed the whole thing like 3 foils folds back to back. No, sometimes they need 5, sometimes you need 6. Sectioning is very, very crucial because if she decides to part her hair in the middle, it still needs to look right. So you can see there, this is where I'm gonna go diagonally. I am gonna clip this out the way. So we have about 4 clips here. So you can see right here, this is where her part is. I'm gonna go straight down the center here. We're gonna section the center out the way, and we're gonna start highlighting from the center of the back. So in the back, you can see I go in a triangle point, and this is a section I'm gonna work right off of. We're gonna take about an inch spacing between each highlight, because oftentimes what we do is we over highlight the hair and then everything gets lost and you don't even see contrast and definition. So you don't have to highlight every single hair, because what we find out is so many of us feel like we have to highlight every single strand on the head, and sometimes too much is too much. All right, so you want to use a blow dryer with the nozzle on it. So I'm using the JRL blow dryer. It has the concentrator on it with a narrow concentrator nozzle. The narrow concentrator allows a more even stream flow. I'm gonna turn the heat down to this. And I am gonna hold the dryer right up to her rootàge area, and we're gonna blow all the short hair out. Starting at the base really helps, and then you move the blow dryer out. So you can see how I'm holding on to the length. So now you can see all of her short pieces coming out. So if I stretch this out, you can see, look how short this hair is and look how long this hair is. You're only highlighting the length and not the short pieces. And what happens is they collide together and it creates a diffusion. So you don't see a complete stripe panel on the head. And also it looks very natural, like the highlight grew out from her scalp. And you get the highlights really close up to the scalp right up in there. So now what I do is we're gonna use LiftMeUp. And LiftMeUp is perfect for hair that has natural curls and texture, because it preserves the natural curl pattern of the hair, and that's what I love about it and what you're gonna love about it. So I'm gonna use a foil board. I'm gonna fold the foil to the back of the board so there's anchorage. So you can see right here. In some cases, if you need to tuck the hair back, just because the hair kind of comes together, use your comb, tap, tap, tap. And if you want to, you can actually use your comb to tuck the hair back, but you're not gonna be able to get as close to the scalp. So notice my left hand with my thumb and my index finger holding the hair as flat as possible, not roping. I apply LiftMeUp, and watch how LiftMeUp just penetrates right through with ease. And I use the product I feathered up to that rootàge as much as possible. If you had used a regular lightener on its own, it will overlift, I find, and that's not what we want to do. So you can see here, I'm gonna run that LiftMeUp all the way down because her hair is dark in this section all the way down. And this is gonna lift and tone in one step. And look how easy this application is. You can leave the board with the foil on it and lay the foil right over the top. Now, you can choose to fold it up if you want. It all depends on you. And you actually get more lift when you fold the foils up, I find, because the heat from the scalp. And you don't have to do the foil overlay, you can do one foil. The reason why I'm doing it this way also, because she does have blonde ends. And so I do the foil overlay so you don't smash the blonde on each other. So you can see here, I'm gonna take a 1-inch section. And let's take a look here. Let's say I take this 1-inch section. Now, would this be enough separation from the first highlight? Let's take this slice above that 1 inch and see if this will give it enough dimension. I think so. You want more depth and you want more highlight, because the highlight will always stand out more than the base color. So always remember that the highlight will always pop regardless. Now keep in mind, we want natural highlights. We want like a bronzy cinnamon glow. We're not looking to have high contrast blonde. Now, sometimes people say, let's backcomb the hair. But what happens, because her hair has natural texture in it, it's gonna be hard to comb out that back comb. And what happens is the hair becomes all over the place because of the curl pattern being disrupted. You don't wanna disrupt the curl pattern. And that's why I'm using the Airtouch technique. Start with the blow dryer at the rootàge and then blow away. And move out, just like so. Everyone's hair is different. Sometimes I can't start up close because for some reason the hair just won't separate. So I have to kind of do this and move out faster. So again, you can see the length. This always gets me so excited when I do the Airtouch technique, because look at the length difference. I love that new techniques are arising because we have options of doing different things. And anytime I discover new techniques that I love, I want to share it with you. And that's really important. And since I have your attention right here, I want you to hit that bell and subscribe subscribe button, okay? Because I share so much of my technique. Show Me Some Love here, which is also the name of one of my songs on my album Power and Pain. Subscribe, click thumbs up, leave comments below, because I know you're here to learn, but it's important to support the person that you're learning from, okay? So notice how I'm holding on to the link. So we're gonna apply most of it through the mids, because look how this product spreads so well with just one scoop of the product. I don't need to re-dip into the bowl. Less is more right up here near the rootàge area, because you don't need that much there. You want most of the product to really saturate that mids. Okay, so you're getting close to the ends here. So you see how the ends are really blonde? Do not overlap that or it will break off. So it's important to use your thumb to hold this area flat. You're gonna feather this down. We'll worry about that near the end. If I need to tone the ends to have more gold tones, I will. And just a little more feathering. And while you have the board here, remember you are gonna use the foil to overlay. I start using a full board like the last 2 years the most, because during quarantine stages, I was like, I want to do things that I was told I wasn't allowed to do. Back at the time, I remember people would tell me, if you use a foil board, it looks like you don't know what you're doing. It looks unprofessional. I was taught this through trainings and events where they say, don't use a foil board, it looks unprofessional. So I always had that mind in my head. And then I was like, why did I listen to them? Because I could have used a foil board this whole entire time and saved my back. There is no wrong, there is no right. And I'm telling you now, you have to do what's right for you. So if you don't want to use a foil board, you don't have to. But I love using the foil board now. I've reached this time in my life, in my 40s, to go, I'm gonna do what feels right for me, and I love the foil board. So if you haven't tried a foil board, try it out. It might change your life with coloring. I'm gonna repeat the same step right in through here. So while I'm doing this, I wanna have a conversation with you. So me and Unique have this very unique conversation about friendship. So a lot of times I have friends that are only there for me when it benefits them. And this is very common. It seems to be very common in the Hollywood world.
Yeah, I think it's common everywhere. I think places where people tend to gravitate to that are more ambitious, it happens a lot more often though.
Ambitious. I guess in the Hollywood world is a lot more ambitious. So how does that make you feel? Like, do you have friends that use you or only there when it benefits them? Like, how does it only benefits them? Like, tell me.
For me, I have a very small friendship circle, like very, very, very small. I don't have to deal with it as much, but when I was heavily modeling, I came across it a lot more often. It's the, oh, you're friends with so-and-so? Like, so how did you get into that shit? Or, so are we friends or are we just talking about how to get a job?
So they disguise themselves as your friends so they could get your network connection.
Yeah.
And it feels like they're not really there for you, they're just using you so it could benefit them. And it's like, it becomes very, very awkward, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, this person is not my friend, what do you want? Right? It happens all the time, and that's why I stopped really letting people too close all the time. I became kind of recluse, and that's kind of sad. But sometimes you have to protect yourself, protect your heart, protect your energy, because it's all about the right energy. And so when someone's always hustling, everyone talks about hustling, but they don't want to get hustled. So is it okay to hustle people, but you don't want people to hustle you? So you have to give the same energy. If you don't want people to hustle you, don't hustle them, because nobody wants to feel used. And I know everyone's reaching, everybody wants opportunities. I get it. It's a hard world out there. We want opportunities, but don't push people. It makes people so uncomfortable. And you experience it too, Unique. So it's not only me that's experiencing this, we're all experiencing a form of like feeling used.
I think even high schoolers deal with it. Like, you'll have that friend that's hanging out with you because you're friends with that guy that they think is cute. They're not really your friend, they just want to get close to that guy.
Well, now it's very different with TikTok. Now people, they only want to be friends with you if you have a TikTok following. I heard this from one of my clients who is younger. If you have more followers on TikTok or whatever, you become the popular kid or something. So we're living in a totally different world, because I remember for me back in high school, it was the cheerleader in the job, right? Was it like that for you too?
Yeah, you had to be an athlete.
You have to be the football player, like the head cheerleader. But then now it's so different. It's the person with the TikTok followers. So I am gonna do the same technique, going all the way up to the top, skipping 1 inch till I reach the front. And then the front, I'll do back to back. So you'll see how I'm gonna keep repeating this. And you see how I lay the foil over, mainly because of the ends being blonde. And also, I didn't want to do the fold up because I want want all the foils to lay evenly, because if I did the fold up, I not fold them up all evenly. Having that even foils laying down looks a lot more neat, and I'm all about the aesthetic of it. All right, so as you get around the face, you can see here she has more gray hair around here, and you'll take notice that the gray hairs are actually shorter. So we're actually blowing them out, which is really cool because it's gonna help us create this diffusion. So with that being said, you wanna go parallel to the section, so you see how I'm not just going horizontal up her head. So you can see as I'm blowing her hair from the rootàge out, you can see all of the short gray hair bits are actually coming out. So take a look at the length of that short hair and look at the length that you can highlight. So there's a lot of short hairs around the face that you can not have to highlight, because you don't want to draw so much attention to short bits because it'll look like breakage. So put the foil on the board again. So always hold the board at an angle, because we're always used to going horizontal up the head, but holding it at an angle is actually more comfortable and more convenient because your hand naturally falls at an angle anyway. So it's all about having that tension with the board. The board has to lay up against the scalp and let it rest. And because she does have natural texture in her hair, sometimes the shorter hairs tries to kind of move its way back, and you can see I could run this all the way down because she has no blonde ends right here because the hair is a lot shorter here. Now the hair around the hairline is a lot more sensitive. It tends to break more easily because it's just more finer. So, and also the hair here tends to lighten a lot faster. After I put all the highlights on her face, that's why I do it last. I'm able to lift the foils up and flap it out the way, away from the heat from her forehead. We're gonna finish these last two pieces. We're gonna let her process, and we're gonna mix the base color. All right, so you can see I'm done with all the foiling on Unique's head. I left out a lot of her base in between. Now we're gonna lift her base. A lot of us seem to be scared to base lift, but lifting the base is something that can create such a huge impact and make such a huge change. And lifting the base will bring out the warmth, which is gonna be so much fun. So we are gonna use TwilightDream7, and this is gonna be the main base overall, but I'm gonna mix it at different levels because there's always gonna be a hot root situation. So on the scalp, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add in 5 grams of DarkShadows with 55 grams of TwilightDream7. That 5 grams of DarkShadows will smoke it out a little bit, so that way on the scalp, the hair doesn't glow, because a lot of times that happens. And also, I'm only gonna mix this formula with 10 volume at the scalp. Then on the mid shaft of her hair that you're seeing here, where it gets a little bit colder away from the scalp, I'm gonna use Twilight Dream by itself with 20 volume. The reason why is because now we need more vibrancy, more brightness. So 20 volume is gonna give us that power so it can push and lift and expose the underlying pigment enough, so that way you're able to see brightness and that cinnamon rich brown on this dark base that she has. Now it's gonna pull slightly coppery because of the natural red tones that's hidden under here, but she does have some gray hairs in between here, so that little bit of gray hair will pick up the shimmer. So then down here on her ends, you can see her ends being very, very blonde. We're gonna use TwilightDream7 mixed with NakedGlow9. So there's less pigment down here, and I'm only using 10 volume there, and I'm gonna add in a lot of the Guy Tang collagen powder. So what happened, it creates a buffer so it's not as aggressive to the hair because it is permanent color, and it does fill the hair at the same time. Now her hair is pretty healthy considering that it's been lightened because this was done with only 20 volume over 2.5 years ago. So it's gonna be okay and safe. Of course, I'm gonna add in Olaplex as well, so all the formulas will have Olaplex as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the color application. Okay, we're gonna open up the foils, flap the foils over. I personally find it's easier to apply color on the rootàge first because I'm able to be more mobile, plus it'll conceal the gray that's around her face. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and tap that TwilightDream7 on her rootàge with that little bit of DarkShadows. Tap it on, and I'm gonna do this throughout her whole entire head as that zone 1, which is the rootàge area, and just fold the foils over like a book, which creates an open space for you to really have an open space to apply the color. What's really important is to really open the foil just like that, the flap, because you really want to get in there and hit that to blur the line of the highlight. Now, I want to show you as I open up the foil, look at that. Her hair is already lifted to that golden color. I'm going to pull out the Lift Me Up swatch here so you can see this is the type of tone I'm expecting. So I'm expecting these two tones. So is very, very golden, very, very bronzy. So when you're opening up here, you see it really meets that tone. So this is gonna be beautiful. You can see how easy this application is, and it's a lot of fun. And Unique actually enjoyed the Airtouch application, right?
Yeah.
How does the Airtouch make you feel when you saw me doing it as a client?
I'm in shock because of the pieces that come out of the other pieces.
The shorter pieces?
Yeah.
But you like it though, right?
Yes, it's interesting to see.
Well, you know what I feel is really important too, because sometimes we want like a certain look, but you don't want to be excluded from a technique when it's still possible and you can still do it. And that's what I love, that we're able to introduce Airtouch technique to all hair types and also use LiftMeUp on lower levels of hair, because the hair is darker. LiftMeUp is designed for level 5 to 9 to get that high lift, but you can still use it in dark hair to get results that you want. Okay, so after I apply the rootàge formula, I'm gonna go in and get that mid shaft formula and hit her with that. All right, so you can see here in the mid shaft, I have applied the Twilight Dream7, and you can see that the curl pattern is taking place through that mid shaft right in through there. Look how beautiful and defined her curl pattern is right in through here. You see that beautiful S going through. And you can see her ends where the blonde is. I avoided applying this formula with 20 volume to her ends because the hair here has been lifted prior to. So that one is gonna have NakedGlow9 in the formula, so it won't be as dark, because hair that is blonder is more porous. It'll suck the color up and get too dark. I'd rather have an ombre that blends down. So here I want to show you, as I open up her hair here through her foils, you can see the base of the rootàge being already processing here with the dark shadows. So this is where I'll apply Twilight Dream7. And keep in mind, as color process, it always looks darker. So don't let that scare you. When the hair dries, it actually is a lot lighter than you think. And also because it's not lifted, it's applied over hair that's a level 2. It's gonna be darker, because in this case, I want her hair to have more richness and saturation. Hence why I did 10 volume at the scalp, 20 on the ends, even though it's a level 7. Take a look at her ends here. You can see that her ends does have a greenish tinge to it, because in her past, we did green, we did blue. It has faded out, but the green still resides. This is where using permanent color will disrupt that melanin. So any direct dye that's still residing in her hair will be flushed out, and new oxidative dyes will be introduced. That's why I chose to do permanent. I didn't want to choose demi for that reason. And also because I want the color really to saturate and sink in, and to really get rid of that residual, because when you introduce a little bit of ammonia, it will disrupt those past direct dyes. So with that being said, because I know going out with permanent color could be a little bit more aggressive than I want to, I am gonna do about a full scoop of the Guy Tang collagen powder. So the collagen powder protects the hair and repairs the hair as you color the hair. So we're gonna put that full scoop in, and then we're also gonna add in Olaplex. So the more Olaplex you add in, the less aggressive it can be. So we're gonna pour that in. We want her integrity protected. You want your integrity protected?
Yes.
Do you want to have integrity, Unique?
Yes, everybody should.
We all need integrity in our life, okay? So this is gonna protect Unique's integrity. Okay, with that being said, now we are gonna apply this formula down through her ends. This formula is NakedGlow9 and Twilight Dream7. Gotta put the hand condoms on. So I want you to take a look at this. So here, all the ends are left out. So now we're gonna go in with the formula with the Naked Glow. This color is gonna be gorge. And with the hair I left out here of the foils, most likely we may pull the LiftMeUp through. We shall see. We don't know until we get to the shampoo bowl. It's all about integrity, because at the end of it all, if you don't have integrity in the hair, the health of the hair, the color is there, but is the hair resilient and reflective? We want the color to really enhance her hair's health. All right, so after I finish applying this, we're gonna let her process for 30 minutes, and that is it. All right, it's time to pull out our favorite part, Unique.
Yep.
All this to lead up to this. So I am gonna rinse your base color first. So remember, it's a rich brown, so it's deep and rich. Okay, we're gonna pull out now. This is my favorite part. So you see all the highlights. Now, when you first look at this, you might go, whoa, that looks super yellow. But you have to keep in mind, when you rinse it and dry the hair, it's not what you think, okay? So we're gonna pull out. So as I rinse, how that Airtouch technique will just merge everything together, and everything just blends. Okay, so I just shampooed her hair with GuyTang My Confidant Color Securing Shampoo. And then I spray the GuyTang X2 Collagen Spray to close the cuticle, smooth out the hair, and lock in the color. And then I lay the GuyTang My Confidant Color Securing Conditioner over the top. So introducing the GuyTang My Hero Collagen Shield Spray. It's a leave-in protection spray. Isn't it beautiful?
Beautiful.
I love this product because it does give your curl volume and definition. It also protects your hair from heat. It also resists humidity so your hair doesn't frizz up. And it allows your hair to have refinement and definition, which is really important to curls. So I love this product. It's great on all hair types. Okay, so we're gonna spray it on, ready or not. And we're gonna dry her hair with a diffuser.
Nobody's gonna stop me. Drop it low, here we go. I will find a way to lift me up. I'm gonna get down on it. Nobody's gonna stop me. Drop it low, here we go. I will find a way to lift me up.
All right, we're done with Unique's hair. How do you feel?
Amazing.
The color is so pretty and so dimensional. And what's crazy is the Twilight Dream7 cover her gray without any NI added in.
What gray?
There is
What
no
gray?
gray. It's gone. It's gone.
What gray?
Your curls look so healthy, shiny, and the color, the definition of the color with the technique of Airtouch. So she has the ability of wearing her hair straight or curly because you do wear your hair straight, right? And curly too.
Yes.
You like versatility.
Yes.
Which is really
We
important.
all should.
From the Lift Me Up Bright Blonde, which lifts and tones in one step, it gives that brightness, but yet the color is so defined without looking stripy, which is really important.
It looks so natural. So natural.
Well, I definitely want to insert some shots of her hair because I'm going to show her hair straight as well, so you can see how well the color blends with her hair straight or curly. And now here's Unique with her hair straight.
I'm gonna get down on it. Nobody's gonna stop me. Lift me up. Drop it low, here we go. I will find a way to lift me up.
So I want to show you what her hair looks like straight also because it will explain why the Airtouch technique did what it did. You can see her base color has been lifted simultaneously while the money piece highlight was done from the Airtouch. Because the Airtouch blows out the short pieces, you're able to get this natural diffusion of highlight where you don't even need to shadow root the hair. The hair kind of looks shadow rooted because it creates a diffusion from all the short hair just blurring the highlights down. So that's why when she lifts her head up, and you can see right here, you have this money piece face frame that blurs down and it concentrates primarily on framing that face. And then underneath here, where all of her dark brown hair from the Twilight Dream7 with only 20 volume, it brings out that warm color that we love. And the best part is we're able to utilize some previous ombre from her highlights that's grown out, where it looks balayaged in. We incorporate her grow out to create this tone. So look at the result of that hair straight, and now we're gonna go right back into curls. Thumbs up, subscribe, okay? I give all this amazing free education. The least you can do is subscribe and click thumbs up. Leave comments below because if you want to see more videos like this with Unique, with different color hair, she's willing to do it.
Yep. And hit the bell.
And hit the bell! And then check out my music video. All the colors will be available at cosmoprophbeauty.com, Cosmoprof stores, Armstrong McCall stores, and also mydaddycolor.com, as well as salonery.com. I know that's a whole mouthful. All the links will be below. Talk to you soon, and here's a trailer to my new music video. Bye-bye!
There's not one day that goes by that I don't think of you. Life and some love still goes on. Somewhere up above, nothing could ever take your place. Memories can erase that you're gone. Some love.